What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Lev Game Season 1, Episode 8, The Average Man's Perspective on Football. I'm your co-host, Marcus. The other co-host for the night is Herman. Say what up, Herman.
Hello, people.
Brian.
Thank you for joining us.
And Mark.
Hello.
Before we get started, I want to encourage you to jump on over to sportsintel.net to get some great commentary and opinions on all things sports related. That's sportsintel.net. Also want to encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell icon so you get notified when we go live. So, fellas, before we get started this evening, I think we should have a moment of silence for Fitzmagic. It was a short 3 weeks, but it was a short, fast 3 weeks. But now he's gone, so just want to moment silence for Fitzmagic. He's done.
But is he really gone?
Yeah, he's done.
He's done.
Sure.
He's back to his backup role.
He's back to his backup role.
I mean, you can't see a scenario where what's his name?
He has to get hurt.
Winston plays himself back on the bench.
No, not at all.
I'm not. I still have him on my fantasy squad, so I just ride with him until he gets back.
I got a feeling that even if Winston gets put down, it'll probably Ryan Griffin trying.
I think you're right. I think they might go to the third game.
Oh God,
Yeah.
that would be an ultimate fail. All right, everybody. Thank you and welcome. Thank you for joining us, and we're gonna get started right now talking about some of the games that we predicted last week. Some of us did very well. One of us didn't do that great. Took a lot of chances, but it is what it is. You gamble, you win, you lose. Sometimes you don't. The dice don't roll the way you want it to. So we're gonna start it off with the Thursday night game, which was the Vikings and the Rams. Extremely exciting game. If you loved offense, you got your fill. The Vikings trying their hardest to get into it, but the Rams ended up prevailing. The Rams are a juggernaut. I mean, their offense is on point. I mean, that head coach is one of the offensive geniuses. I mean, I'm sure the Redskins fans are kind of sorry that he's gone because he's very ingenuitive, comes up with new ways and new wrinkles on how to attack a defense. And then with the defense coordinator that they got, he's a savvy old vet, and he keeps that defense pumping, keeps them defensive linemen running and doing what they got to do. So in that particular game, I was a complete blunder. I did pick the Vikings. I thought that, with the terrible loss they had against the Bills, I thought this week they would have came out striking. And they did. I mean, they came out full force. The quarterback was doing his thing. The running back didn't do what I was expecting him to. I think he even hurt himself in the game.
Yeah, he only got 20 yards.
Yeah. So that was disappointing. But Thielen had a dynamite game. But it just wasn't their night. The Rams did what they had to do and won that game. What do you think, Mark?
I chose the Rams in this particular game. At one point, I thought I was watching arena football. How much scoring they were doing. But I do pose this question too: are we looking at the second coming of the greatest show on turf?
I believe we are.
That's exactly what I thought about too. Yeah,
because the Rams have a serious firepower, and they putting up some points.
They are. And it's like based around Gurley, like where before it was based around Marshall Faulk.
And mind you, Gurley is on one of my fantasy teams. He did real well for me. Thank you very much. But yeah, I chose the Rams, and they were successful. One other thing I took out of the game, did you guys see the fake punt attempt that went? The punter threw a nice pass. He got an arm. The punter has an arm. I think for the Ram.
Okay.
For the Ram.
I did miss that.
And then the wide receiver would have turned around, and looked for the ball. He probably would have.
Oh, yeah, I do remember now. I do remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
But he threw the ball about 40 yards.
They was letting them have it about the receiver when they.
But Rams, they were victorious for me. I'll take that one.
Marcus, who did you decide to win?
Much like you, I made a dumb mistake. I even said the Rams should win this game, and they did win. I picked the Vikings because the same reason. I figured they were going to come back after that awful loss they had in Buffalo, but I was absolutely wrong. The Rams are the real deal. They're definitely number one team in NFL right now. They look like they're unstoppable at this point. I think, of course, they're going to lose a game or two, but they're very easily going to go to 14-2. I mean, home field advantage will definitely go through Los Angeles this year. I mean, what's his name? Jared Goff. He was 26 of 33 for 465 yards and 5 touchdowns.
And I cut him that week.
You cut Jared Goff?
Yeah.
And you know what's even worse? I had him on my bench. That's even worse. I had him on my bench. But I wouldn't have won anyway in fantasy, but he was on my bench. But I bet you better believe he'll be starting this week, though. He would not be on the bench any longer.
Herman, who'd you pick?
Yeah, I had the Rams too, and it's funny that Mark brought that up because I even wrote it in my notes that the Rams are reminding me of the greatest show on turf. It's crazy. Their offense is just ridiculous. And then you always got them. They always throw in that little trickery on special teams. They always got one for you.
Yeah.
You never know when it's coming.
They keep you on your toes.
Yeah, and they can do that. They can be confident enough to do that because if they don't succeed and the defense gives up a score, they're going to score anyway.
Yep.
One key note about the defense, we were talking before about how they didn't have his two starting cornerbacks. Mm-hmm. Well, their reserves played pretty well to me.
Yeah, and that defensive line was putting pressure on Cousins. Cousins had to get that ball out kind of early throughout that game.
Well, what I want to know is who has Cooper Kupp on their fantasy team?
Somebody has him because he put up numbers last year.
He did put up numbers last year.
Ben had him on the bench.
Okay. Sorry about that, Ben, if you watch.
And New England should feel some kind of way about Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
So just New Orleans feel the same? I mean, they let him go first.
Brandon Cooks is putting up better numbers than all of New England's receivers combined.
Last time I checked, he has the third highest receiving yards in the league right now.
Yeah,
so
something like that.
He's
I don't understand what New England why
I don't understand why. I don't understand why either one, New England or New Orleans, left.
Well, New Orleans had receivers.
They had a full receivers down in New Orleans at that particular time.
I thought he fit with New England. I had him on my fantasy team last year. He put up good numbers. You know, he fit with them, and then they just cut him for whatever reason. I mean, they traded him for whatever reason.
Maybe he wasn't part of the New England way.
The Rams, they had 3 receivers over 100 yards. Cooper of 162, Brandon Cooks 116, and Robert Woods 101.
I think I saw Isaac Bruce come down and catch a touchdown.
So we're going to go to the Sunday night contest, which was an AFC North battle between the Ravens and the Steelers. This time we're going to lead off with Herman. Herman, who did you pick?
I got this one wrong.
Hey Herman, could you get in the shot? You blew out. There you go.
Again, I picked the Steelers, and I'm looking at it now like, why? I didn't have faith in the Ravens once again, but the Steelers were at home. You know, in an AFC North battle, I'm like, the Steelers are going to win this one, and you know, Ravens jumped up on them first, and I'm like, oh crap, here we go with the Steelers again. And then the Steelers came back and tied the game. And then I guess the Steelers decided not to play in the second half. And the Ravens did. So there you go with that one.
Mark?
26-14.
Marcus, who'd you have on that one?
Once again, I picked Pittsburgh, and I'm done picking Pittsburgh for the year. Okay? I will no longer pick Pittsburgh again until they do something with this doggone defense. They are one of the worst defenses in the league. I keep picking them, and they just keep letting me down. The Ravens are the real deal. I'm saying they're the real deal right now. Them in Cincinnati. There is some hope for Pittsburgh, but they, still got a long season to go. But they have to do something with this defense, and they got to get a running game going. They had, I think it was 19 yards rushing.
Yeah, well,
okay.
You know why they're missing Le'Veon Bell. But, I mean, do you put this one on the defense? Okay.
Yes.
It was 14-14 at the half. They only gave up 12 points in the second half. The offense didn't score.
Well, yes, the offense is great. They just can't seem to score in the second half. They did the same thing last week against the.
But you put it on the defense.
Yes. Look at all these. Look at all these points they're putting up.
That's what They didn't put up that many points that game.
Yeah, it was only 26 points.
That's a lot.
Did not score in the second half.
That's double digits. 26 is double digits.
No, Baltimore had 26.
Yeah,
I know.
26. But the offense did not score in the second half. Pittsburgh's offense did not score. I mean, Mark.
Two things I took out of this game I'm very disappointed in is that the Steelers, I should say, had a.
Oh no, it's we. Don't try to disclaim them now. It's we.
They had a goal line stop where they fumbled the ball. If Baltimore would have scored, that thing would have been a blowout.
Oh, yeah,
it would have been 21-3.
Yep.
They get the momentum. They get back downfield. They scored by halftime. I was feeling good. Me and Brian was out watching the game. I was good by halftime. Second half came, and it's like Ben held on the ball too long. their play selection, they were 3 and out. It was just like a total different game. Yes, Baltimore defense did well, but you know who saved the game for them? Their daggone kicker. Yeah. Their kicker made some crucial long field goals.
And he's like the best kicker in the NFL. So
yes, I think he actually put him over, gave him that momentum, and put him over the top. But offensively, Pittsburgh's game selection, I don't know what they were doing in the second half.
Like they didn't even have a game plan.
And it's like Ben was like off with his passes. You know, if
he was holding the ball too long.
Yeah, but it was like if the Brown was coming across the middle, it was like the pass was behind him. You know, it wasn't like pinpoint actually like Ben is normally accustomed to doing.
And he threw a pick, and then it was looked like Brown had ran a different route than what they expected. I mean, they were just off the second half.
And like I said, they never really tried to establish the run in that game. They were just throwing and throwing and throwing.
That was 19 yards rushing they did.
Yeah. And then the part of the game that really where the Steelers had got their momentum was when the tight end that caught the ball and ran that dude over in the middle of the field and stood up and was cheering and
made it. And that was like a crucial third down drive.
Yeah, it was. And you started getting a little nervous. Again, it's a division game. You know, you can never really predict these things. I mean, you could be the worst against everybody else, but against a divisional opponent, you know them so well. It's just tough. It's just tough. But who did you pick, Mark?
I chose the Steelers, and I'm so disappointed that my son's flag football team probably can play better defense than they can.
Well, I'm last, and I did go with the Ravens on this one. So this is one of the few that I did get correct. Like I had said last week, I felt that Steelers defense was questionable. I thought Flacco was starting to get into a little groove. Offensively, they're mixing it up a little bit, and I thought that they would run a lot better on the Steelers than they did. But the Ravens got enough done. Like I said, jumped up on them early, kind of took the crowd out of the game for a little while, and then used their kicker to kick them to victory. So the next game we got was the Chiefs against the Broncos. Again, another divisional game. Again, it was more like a toss-up. This game really came down to the end. I mean, the Broncos had many opportunities at the very end of that game to score. The last play was a little questionable with the catch and then trying to pitch it to the other receiver so they could run down. But I mean, there was a pass that the quarterback threw that if he was a little closer, he's just a little too far off. But it was a touchdown, and that game could have gone the other way. But it ended up being a Chiefs victory. Pat Mahomes again did a great job. Wasn't as lighted it up. I mean, I think he had one passing touchdown, one rushing touchdown.
Yeah, just one.
But did enough. I mean, I think he was over 300 some yards again. So you can't take nothing away from this Kansas City Chiefs offense. The defense maybe, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Mark, who did you have on this one?
On this one, I took the Chiefs. I thought that their offense was going to be explosive against the Broncos and do it. I actually fell asleep on this game, but I did hear the talk of the controversial call.
There was
in this game that was
towards the end of the game. The play clock ran out, and the refs didn't.
They didn't catch it at all. They didn't catch it at all.
And you can see it.
And they have a nice picture of it on Twitter.
Yeah.
So it was obvious.
It wasn't even close. It was like 0. Hut, like, we doing this, So yeah.
Yeah, I took the Chiefs. I was the winner, but we see.
Mark, who did you pick? I'm sorry, Marcus. Who did you pick?
I took the Chiefs, and just like I said, it was going to be a great game. It absolutely was. I think Patrick Mahomes is something special. The way he came out there and he switched that ball to his left hand and put it out there like that looks like Brett Favre a little bit. I was really worried there near the end when I guess they got that. I think it was a holding penalty, and it was like 2nd and 20 or 25. It was like 2nd and outrageous, and he managed to get the first down 2 plays later, and he just showed what he could do. I'm just real, It's been a long time coming for quarterbacks like him. He went to Texas Tech, which they do a special offense out there called the air raid, and usually air raid quarterbacks don't do very well in the NFL, which is actually Jared Goff. He did a similar offense out in Cal called the Bear Raid because they're the California Bears, and so it's good to see that type of offense is having success now in the NFL, which is basically we're gonna talk about later, which means there's no defense anymore. But I think it was a great game. I was surprised at how much how many yards the Broncos defense get scored there. It was 304 passing yards and actually 142 rushing yards. So, but I think we'll see. We might see them again in a divisional game or a wild card game.
All right, so we're going to move on to. Oh, I'm sorry, Herman. Who'd you pick?
I had the Chiefs. I mean, it was basically going to be about their offense. They protected Mahomes pretty good, with that pass rush that the Broncos had. But the Chiefs protected him pretty good. It's funny because when you watch him play, he's kind of reckless, but he doesn't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
It's a real weird combination with
It's
him.
like he doesn't let a play just go. He's always trying to make something happen.
Andy Reid made a comment about that. He reminds him so much of
Brett
Favre,
but he
because
just
he just don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, it's really
he's conservative with the
kind of
ball.
wild. Yeah. So,
Which is odd because he hasn't thrown an interception yet this year, but when he was in college, he was throwing picks all the time.
So you said he hasn't thrown an interception yet?
Nope, not this season, not one.
So I don't like Patrick Mahomes because I lost. I picked the Broncos. I was a little disappointed in the run game of the Broncos defense letting that run game go on. I figured that the Chiefs will get it going offensively. It's hard to stop that wide receiving core that they got. But I mean, it was a good game. I mean, they did try to come back at the end, and they did have their chances. It just wasn't in the cards. So we're going to jump to the next game, which was the Buccaneers against the Chicago Bears. In this one, we're going to start with Herman.
I picked the Bears. I don't think a lot of people. I didn't lone wolf it, but a lot of people weren't expecting the Bears to. I wasn't expecting the Bears to put up no 6 touchdowns. Okay, I'm going to say that right now. But I felt like after I saw what happened to Fitzpatrick the week before, all the pressure they got to him, I knew the Bears were going to put pressure on. So that's what made me pick the Bears. I figured they would squeak it out, but Trubisky, I'm not saying I believe in him, but he threw 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Their offense was on point, and the Bucs defense is not bad. It's not a bad defense.
They wasn't too shabby.
And it was like a lot of the passes he was throwing were like easy passes. He wasn't really throwing no tight window passes. I mean, these dudes are like wide open in the end zone.
Yeah. Sorry, Bucs. Looks like they're crashing back down to earth now, and some of these division picks that we made earlier starting to look a little better now.
Marcus, who did you pick on this game?
I picked the Bucks. I was caught up in the Fitz magic. I was, he got me with all the spells and the fairy dust and the magic and
the beard.
Yeah, and I should have known better. It came crashing down. And he went for 9 for 18 for 126 yards and 1 interception. Jameis Winston came in. He went 16 for 20 for 145 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. So, I don't even know what to say about that game. The fact that Mitch Trubisky got 6 touchdowns, it just befuddles me. Because I'm still not sold on him. I don't know what water they were drinking in Chicago that day, but I need that water.
Mr. Parker, who did you pick on this one?
I took the Bears. I don't know if it's Trubisky's coming out party. He was thinking it. He was throwing it. Once again, Khalil Mack, sack fumble. That's Mr. Hey, you can start calling him Mr. Sack Fumble.
MVP, early candidate for MVP.
He's been bringing it every game so far, man. He's making the Raiders pay for that trade him.
Dumbest mistake ever in the history of football, I think.
But
I don't know about the history of football, but it was pretty dumb.
You could have got that one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what? All right, so in this one, I also picked the Bucs. I was with Marcus. I thought Fitzpatrick was going to have a bounce back game. In the second half of that Steelers game, you kind of saw what he was doing again in the beginning of the season. So I thought that might go over. And I had no. I'm pretty sure I dogged Mitch Trubisky. I know I made some type of joke last thing. So again, I have a little crow to eat, which is not a problem. I'll probably throw some more this season. But I did think that the Bucs were going to rebound from that. But like we said, Fitzmagic is done, and the Bears defense.
What quarter did he get benched?
He got second half.
Second half.
It's funny because did you see the Bucs head coach his press conference? The way that he said about James Winston's going to be our starter from here on, it seemed like that came from up above. It seemed like he's obviously going to be here longer than I will be here. I was like, oh, this dude's
not my
salty.
decision.
Yeah, so.
But I don't think it's much of improvement at all, though. I think they're still going to suck this year. It's not much of improvement.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't see it being a huge improvement. It'll probably be a little bit because maybe Jameis can move around a little bit more, maybe. But he's gonna make some of the bonehead stuff too.
Absolutely.
Probably more bonehead stuff.
His inconsistency was what I caught on the last couple of seasons, where he would show you flashes that he was ready to make the next leap. But then he'd come back out and he'd do like bonehead plays.
Right, you'd be like, damn,
stupid
interceptions did that. Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
And then just some of his personal decision stuff. It just doesn't seem like he, I don't know.
Mature.
Yeah, mature enough to be the leader of that squad. All right, so we're going to go to the final game that we had picked last week. This was the Miami against the New England game.
I have a question. I have a question for Mark.
Yeah.
How many 300 passing yard games did Ryan Tannehill have?
He didn't have one this Sunday.
And how many points have the New England Patriots given up?
They gave up a lot, but sound like I'm eating crow this week.
Tom Boyd is happy again.
Well, I just want to say, in my exact words last week, where it was going to be a slaughter,
you said it,
and I was 100% right. It was a slaughter.
It was. I mean, that game, I kept looking at the score, and I'm like, is Miami ever going to score? I think it was the fourth quarter before they finally got into the end zone.
Tannehill was 11 of 20 for 100 yards and 1 pick. So they totally shut him down. Oh, wait, Brock Osweiler made it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Osweiler did get in the game at some point. I saw that stat. I was like, I don't know why, but yeah.
So I guess since Marcus had a question, I guess we'll start with Marcus. On who did you pick, Marcus?
Well, I told you, I picked Brady. Okay.
Not even a pick.
Okay. There's no if you look at the history, I don't know the exact record, but the Brady's record in Gillette Stadium against the AFC East is ridiculously in their favor. Like I think they got single-digit losses.
Yeah, you're right, like
Like
two
the-
or something like that.
Yeah, like 2 or 3. So I knew Miami, and like I said, Miami is a fake, is a fraud. It was going to come out eventually, and it came out last week.
I don't know. Slow your roll on that one now. If the Patriots keep looking the way that they're looking, yeah, they're good at home and everything, but
Hey, look,
Miami could win that division. Don't think they can't win that division.
No.
I'm not
Don't
gonna
think
say
so.
I'm picking them, but don't think they can't. I mean, if the Patriots keep struggling the way that they're struggling, they don't find like they better show some improvement with Josh Gordon and Edelman back now.
Yeah, he'd be like,
They better show some improvement, like big time.
I think they will. Like I said, New England they get stronger as the year goes on. So
What more improvement?
You only
They
get
scored
8 at
like
home.
38 points.
You only get,
What more
you only
improvement
get 8
do you
games
want
at
from
home. Though. They ain't doing that on the road. They're not doing it on the road, and from the looks of it, they're not going to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Not playing the way they are right now. That's going to the Chiefs.
I don't know. Oh,
do they play the Chiefs this year? I think they do play. Yeah, they do play. I think they do play the Chiefs in like next couple weeks. So
yeah. And I mean, you jumping on the Chiefs bandwagon. They do this every year too.
I'm not jumping on the Chiefs bandwagon so much, but I'm just.
I mean,
They gonna win.
I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. But what I'm saying is that the Patriots that we used to know,
Yeah.
they're not playing right now.
no. I don't believe that at all. This is the Patriots.
Yeah, Tom Boy.
This is the Patriots we know. They start off slow. They speed up, and it doesn't go through. If it doesn't go through England, it goes through Jacksonville, not Kansas City. It will go through because actually that's who they play this week. Jacksonville, Kansas City.
Guess we're
Play
gonna
this week.
see.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that game determines home field advantage, I believe.
So Herman, who did you pick in this game?
I picked the Patriots because they were at home and they were playing Miami. Miami doesn't win in Foxborough. Nobody does. So, yeah, of course I picked the Patriots. But I'm not sold on it.
I chose the Dolphins. I went against New England. I didn't think Brady was going to be that effective, but he proved me wrong. And yes, Marcus, I'm eating crow.
Yes.
So in this one, I also went with New England. Like what everybody was saying. I mean, I hadn't seen Belichick lose 3 in a row, and God knows when. Maybe when he's with Cleveland, and they were at home and they were playing Miami, and I didn't know it was going to be that bad, but I knew that they were going to find a way to win that game and keep their season afloat. Every year, the Patriots last 2 or 3 years, they've been kind of muddling around that 2-3 and 3 and 4, whatever, and then all of a sudden they turn it on and they're the Patriots that we know.
And let me just add this: I do have Brady and New England defense in one of my fantasy, and I was quite surprised to see the score was pretty high in the fantasy.
He's probably
game.
mad they got that touchdown.
What's that?
Did you win that fantasy?
No, I lost it.
But you know what? One thing too, though, behind the scenes, just real quick with the Patriots, you can't keep talking about the Patriots, Marcus. There's discord behind the scenes with the Patriots between Tom Brady and
Yes,
Belichick.
yes, but it was last year too.
Yeah.
And they went to the Super Bowl.
But this year it's a little bit different. I think it's a little bit more. Why didn't they go out and get a receiver for Tom Brady? What makes you think about that? You know what I mean?
They Thomas never always. I mean, well, only time he really had a number one receiver was when they had
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss.
Yeah.
Most of the
Well,
time-
hold on.
last
They
year.
did have quite a few people in there. They cut
Yeah,
them.
they cut him.
Yeah, they made 28 moves at wide receivers.
Bringing in trash.
They've made 28 moves.
You bringing in trash. Is Belichick trying? You know,
And
is
then
Belichick
again,
being
too,
funny?
they're not like the other NFL teams. I mean, it's a lot tougher to play New England than there's a standard that they have there that's tough, and a lot
Dude,
of
they just brought in Josh Gordon.
I know, but there's no saying he's going to stay.
Well,
I mean, they had Chad Ochocinco.
No off the field problems.
No, but he didn't stay. He
Played a full
played
year.
no, he didn't. I don't think so.
He wasn't a big
He was
contribution.
performing.
Yeah.
That's it.
He wasn't a big contribution.
when they got him, he was on his way downhill.
absolutely.
Anyway, so
I'm just saying. I mean, keep an eye on it. You know what I mean? I don't know why you don't give Tom Brady a better receiver.
Josh Brown.
Yeah, they
Josh Gordon.
They got,
Josh Gordon, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
I mean, Edelman's back now, and they always got Gronk. So
I mean, like I said, and they
They were
made.
getting ready to trade Gronk too. You know that, right?
then he threatened to retire, and they
Detroit.
said okay.
But why would you trade
they
Gronk
were gonna
to
trade him
Detroit?
to
What were you
Detroit.
going to get from Detroit that was worth Gronk?
I don't know. I think maybe Belichick is starting to feel himself a little bit. He's talking about trading Gronk.
And that's why I'm saying that
He
he
might
may be
be-
trying to give.
I mean, but y'all
Tom
say
Brady
that too. But I
a
mean, if
little
you could
message,
get something
too.
for Gronk, I mean, you can find a good tight end. And Gronk is injured a lot.
I still have a problem with that too because you knew Edelman was going to be out. You didn't have a wide receiver for Brady to
and you
throw
were going
to.
to
Why were you
trade
trying
Gronk.
to trade Gronk?
Exactly. What is
I
going on?
wouldn't. I would be giving him up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Gronk always out.
Yeah, he might not play this Thursday. So
Yeah, he's questionable. Yeah.
And I mean, because he's so big and so hard, and he plays so tough, and then teams are like 3 and 4 people on him all the time. So I mean, it's just tougher.
well, they were able to do that before. But with
Because they had
Edelman there.
receivers.
with Edelman back and with Josh what's his name
Yeah.
Josh Gordon on there, then they can't do that anymore.
So that's the wrap up of last week. Some of us did well. Again, some of us didn't do that great. But there's always next year. So I mean, next week. So
He wrapped it up for the year already.
It's only week 4.
So we are at the quarter mark of the year. A few hot topics that went on last week. One of them we wanted to talk a little bit about was that Earl Thomas situation. In the game, Earl Thomas had fractured his leg,
Yeah, bro.
I think he broke
his
it.
leg, and was being carted off. On the way, he gave his squad the finger.
Now, whether the squad or to the coach,
It was
The management.
It was at the.
I think so. I think it was
the.
a management.
It was at the
that-
management.
But it was at the bench. The
Yeah,
players won.
yeah,
Management's not down on that.
Right.
He gave it to
Scott Bob.
right. So I mean, he gave it to. I
Should've
mean,
been a
if
high
anything,
half.
you could maybe say
he,
the coach.
he aimed it upward. You ain't see it. He aimed it upward like that.
That was right towards those two linemen. No, that was Pittsburgh. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. Yeah, but
But how did you feel about that, Mark?
I mean, the middle finger thing probably not a good look, but I feel it now because now he's screwed. He was trying to get he was trying to get traded to Dallas, and not with a broken leg. Nobody's gonna go get him down, and so his value just lowered big time. I hope he had that like that insurance you get,
Yeah.
in case you get hurt. I hope he had that because if not, then he might be.
But Earl Thomas made it. He's
yeah.
already made some
Yeah, he's
money
made
off
it.
Seattle. I mean, I get what you're saying. I do feel kind of it is a messed up situation. If I was a team right now, though, I think I might go trade for him and offer him a contract. You're not going to give up.
He's not going to get the big dollars that he was
he's
expecting.
not, and it's just a broken leg. It's not. I don't think it was anything real major.
But
You know what I mean?
it's the second time he's broken that same leg.
And how old is he again? He's 30.
Almost 30.
There you go. Go get him.
So
Offer him something a little
Dallas
decent.
wants him. Do you think Dallas can get him?
I think anybody could get him now. I don't know if Dallas would want him. I mean, I'd be the crazy GM. They'd look at me like I was crazy, but you're obviously Seattle's not getting their second rounder for him now.
I'll be honest with you. When the Cowboys was playing last week, we were watching the game, and Jeff Heath got hit on the goal, got trucked on the goal line, and got injured.
Yeah.
And then right after he got injured, it was like the Cowboys defense disappeared, and all the Lions were just throwing down the field, got back in the game. I was like, I'm ready to give a number one for him, whatever it would take to get him, because I don't want to see this loss no more. But then when he broke his leg, I said, well, there goes that pipe dream. So
it's not realistic, I know, to go out and trade for a hurt player.
Right.
But fourth rounder, Seattle going to balk at that now? You're going to get something for this guy, and you don't even get him for the rest of the year. I'm going to give you a fourth rounder. Then I just have to work out a contract with him.
Well, why even give up the fourth round at this point? Why not just wait? His contract is over at the end of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but then you got to deal with a bunch of other people because if you trade for him, you could franchise.
And then here's the thing, too, much like Le'Veon, will he be an unrestricted free agent?
Yeah, he'll be on.
Okay.
He'll get the full season.
And Le'Veon sitting at home was like, see, that's why I ain't playing.
Yeah, that's
But he did say he's going to report.
Yeah, he said he was coming.
Well, he said he's coming
talking.
at bye week.
Yeah, after the bye week, he's coming back.
if I was Le'Veon, I'd show up and then the first practice. Oh, coach, I got a hammy, coach. I'm done.
But now you see why these players hold out. You see why they don't want to play. That the end of that contract that year. And right now, Seattle's not hurt. They're hurting playing wise,
Right.
But they're moving on from him next year. You know what I mean? Now he's not going to get the money. And yeah, granted, he made whatever before, but he wanted another big contract, and he's putting his body on the line. And you see why he broke his leg. He went out there and he decided to be a teammate.
Because this will probably be his last contract, so he wants to get a big one.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And he decided to go be a teammate, and now he's paying the price for that. So you can't. It's hard to get mad at these players when they do that.
It's a no-win situation.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not upset with him being angry. I am a little upset with the gesture that he gave him. Like Marcus said, that was just a bad look.
Yeah, it was.
It doesn't. There's no positive that's going to come out that. We already knew how you felt. Okay? You didn't have to really express it to the world. With kids watching and questionable people. And it just makes us look bad.
It's emotion.
It is emotion, and it's an emotional game. I kind of get it, but it's just. I just wish you could have tempered that, express your feelings another way.
And I'm sure after he did it, I'm sure the next day he probably was like, I should. I'm pretty sure that's how he felt. That emotion right then and there, all he's thinking is, am I going to play again? And F y'all for not giving me the money that I wanted. He was down with it, with Seattle. He really was.
Yeah, so we kind of branched into the other topic we were going to discuss this evening, which were the holdouts. Particularly on Le'Veon Bell, now announcing that he is going to come back during the Steelers bye week and play for the season. But Marcus, what were your thoughts on that?
I mean, if I was him, I'd come back because want to get paid. But like I said, the first practice, oh coach, I pulled a hammy. I'm done. And I'm not after seeing what happened to Earl Thomas. I'm not playing this year.
Now you say that, yeah, okay, I heard I pulled a hammy, but teams talk to each other. They'll be like, hey, look, this dude basically quit on us. He's gonna quit on you. Why would you want to come get him when he's talking about some hammy? He know he ain't hurt.
He helps me hold up the trophy. I don't care if he quit on y'all.
That's the thing.
Will
he? I mean, is he? What type of player is he?
I ever thought of a scenario at y'all. The Eagles. Got Darren Sproles, who's pretty much got him. Jai is playing on his last year's contract. The other guy they have is Clemens
and Smallwood.
They could go after Bell.
Yeah, they definitely could. Yeah, I think we talked about that a little bit before too, but you got to break that bank.
They're dark horse to go after Bell.
They have to be careful because he's on a rookie contract right now.
True.
So they're gonna have to pay him big time too.
So that is true. Yeah.
Be careful.
When we talking about going back to the big dance, they got a taste of it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
They could get him and definitely.
The rookie contract is 4 years, right?
4 and the 5th year option.
Four
on a number one.
But they're not gonna. Yeah, they're not gonna. He's gonna get extended probably year 4. you want to get him extended early, so you don't have to pay. You're gonna have to pay him, but you don't have to pay him too much. But on the Bell situation, if I'm Bell, he has to come back week 10. If I saw what happened to Earl Thomas, I'm coming back.
You won't come back until week 10?
Nope. Yeah. And then when I came back,
You hurt.
I would play. I wouldn't. I would try not to fake the injury. Man, you know what I mean. But I'd be very careful about
Yeah,
how long it took, me to get into football shape. So you said week 10, and then he three weeks to get into football shape, maybe. I'm not ready.
That is kind of tough because once you're on that field, you can't be thinking about.
No,
not
not actually
play.
on the field.
You got to
yeah.
go hard,
Right.
and do what you got to do, or you will be.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But again, it might take me a couple weeks to get into football shape. That's all I'm saying.
So look, we're gonna change the subject a little lighter again. What's going on with all these overtime games? I mean, we had 3 last week.
Yeah, it's exciting, but at the same time, you cringe because it's like I don't want a tie.
Right.
It's like the ties, like just it ruins the game. You got a great game. It went into overtime. It's exciting. They're going back and forth, and then it ends the time.
You know what is the worst? It's when you're playing somebody in fantasy, and the regulation game is over, and the quarterback does not have enough points to beat you. Then, thanks to that extra quarter, they get some more yards, and now you're beat. That's when it's the worst.
That is.
You got a tale of two stories. You had the Tennessee game where the coach called a 4th down, play in overtime, and got it gambled, won the game. You got another one, and the Colts game, who does it, and he looks like a buffoon.
And they murdered him about that, but he said he came up there to the podium and said, I ain't playing for no tie. He said, I'm playing to win, and I'll do it 99% of the time.
That's Frank Wright.
And you really kind of gotta respect that. That tie messes for the birds.
I do respect that. I respect that part of it. But I'm not playing for the tie, but you're not playing to lose either. You're not playing so you lose.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, he was at a bad time to go hard, because it was one play from Houston, bang, and they were already in field goal range.
Right. And let me ask you this: if you're the owner sitting up there, right, and your coach comes up and says, "I'm not playing for the tie. I ain't paying your butt to lose." You got it. It's a fine line making that decision. You know what I mean? At the 40 or at the 45 towards the 50, and you say, I'm not playing for the tie. I'm with you. Okay, but when you're in your territory and it only takes one play for the other team to get in the field goal range, I got a problem with that. And I'm your owner.
Yeah.
And because of the the recent change of the rules, it used to be sudden death. You can go to overtime. If the first one scores, it's over.
Yeah.
Now it's been modified with tweak. It's been tweaked. So this has to be changed. So it's a little bit different now.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's a thin line. I mean, you can get fired for something like that.
Yeah. I mean, what if that game cost you the playoffs?
Right. Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
And that tie may not have cost you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a problem. So it's a thin line.
What was the last overtime game?
It was. You asked me. I don't even remember. Was it I don't know.
Cincinnati and Atlanta? Was it Cincinnati?
Yes.
Cincinnati.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was Cincinnati.
It was a crazy play in that game too.
It was. That was a good game. That was a good
shootout. It was a lot of good games this week. It was a lot of good games. So then the last hot topic we're going to try to address real quick is that roughing the passer charade that we had for the first 3 weeks. And then last week, I think we had maybe one call.
Yeah, just one.
I recall. I'm glad the NFL cleaned it up. I'm glad that we didn't have to keep worrying about that. I hope that they continue with it. What do you feel about it, Mark?
I just think that collectively they got together in the NFL and said, "Hey, look, these calls are killing the game. You need to not call it so much right now. It's real. I mean, it's crazy,
especially when you got quarterbacks saying that it's a bad
call.
But you know what I think it brings back to the point of the NFL needs more full-time referees. Because this should never have happened. You should never have gone from the number of penalties that you were calling for roughing the passer to one last week. There's no. We were talking double digits the weeks before,
Yeah.
and you went to 1. That's bad. That is just bad.
And you're
Outright
messing
bad.
with teams, games and
Yeah,
you
the
know,
outcome of
chances
the
to
game,
win.
exactly. So it's like when you put these rules into place, man, and you're gonna make these changes like this.
I just love how the NFL never admits they're wrong. They just silently
Exactly that too. They just silently
change
change
the rule.
Well, I mean, just like even when they're wrong, they just send the team a letter say we're sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that, y'all.
Oops.
But they need to do a better job, man, especially with stuff that's going to change and affect the outcome of games. You just have to. You're killing your brand.
Yeah, because it goes from like a 12 or 13-yard play to a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
that's
know,
a
and
game
don't let
changer.
it have been a big chunk play, too, because
Yeah.
that's 15 added. to
Added
it.
on top.
So if I throw the ball 20 yards, get a pass, that's a 35-yard play. Man, that's ridiculous. So they need to
Especially
work
with the
on
field goal
that.
kickers now.
Right.
You're already a field goal range.
55, 60 yarders almost. So yeah, they got to fix that. They definitely have to.
Well, it appears they did. So
But yeah, I get that. But what I'm saying is they need to fix when they implement these changes from now on. They really will.
Yeah, especially. I understand how come these calls weren't as prevalent in the preseason. You remember the
Well, 'cause that's
the
all
head
they focus
thing,
on was
the
the
headbutt,
helmet. Yeah.
helmet to butt
That's
was
another.
real prevalent. That I haven't seen.
I haven't been. It
You
ain't
know,
called.
but
Maybe
then
a
all of a
couple
sudden this rule comes in. And, I mean, how come? Where was it at in the preseason?
I guess they didn't care about the backup quarterback. Seriously.
who does care about the back quarterback?
All right, so like I said, there's always a new week, and we have a new week. So we have a new list of teams and games that we're gonna try to predict. This NFL is a fellow that's very difficult to keep a trend, but we're gonna try our best. These are for entertainment purposes only. So we're gonna start with the Thursday night game, which is going to be the Indianapolis Colts at the Patriots. I did look it up. The Patriots are a 10-point dog in this game, which means that the Colts are already getting 10 points from the bettors. Just a couple quick notes. The Colts right now, their defense is ranked 17 in the pass defense. Their total defense is 19. The Patriots pass defense is 16, and their total offense is ranked 23rd, which I was kind of shocked to see. Like we were saying before, there is a return of Edelman, which should help with that. And we're going to take our first prediction for Mark.
I'm not going against Brady this week. I'm taking Patriots. Return of Elliman will help this team. I don't think Coach really have enough to sustain and keep up with New England. New England gonna ride this trend. I'm taking New England all this week.
Marcus, do we really need to ask you, or we just bypass you?
You already know. I never pick against Brady in Gillette Stadium. It's gonna be it won't be a total repeat. They won't get slaughtered like the Miami Dolphins did, but Brady they will have a convincing win.
Can we get a score prediction?
24-10.
Okay. Herman.
I got the Patriots. Patriots at home. Can't beat them.
So it's basically a clean sweep. I'm also going to go with the Patriots at home. So the next game, we got America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, traveling down to Houston against the Texans. In this game, the Houston Texans are at -3. Dallas's rush defense is number 4. Their total defense is ranked number 5. Houston's rushing defense is ranked number 9, and their total defense is ranked 23rd. And another little stat is Watson may be on a record pace of getting sacked. So far, he has 17 on the year. It is a lot. The Bills quarterback is the only one that has more. We're going to start with Herman on this one. Herman, how do you feel about this game?
This was a little bit hard for me because my Cowboys, they've been letting me down a little bit. But I'm going to go with Dallas this week. I think that if Scott Linehan, if you're watching, Cowboys offensive coordinator, we need to feed Zeke. Get him and keep him in the game, just like you did that last week, and we will win this game. Don't get boneheaded. You got boneheaded a little bit in the Detroit game a couple times, but I think Dallas is going to go down to Houston and win this one. I believe Dallas leads the series against Houston 3-1. I think we'll come out with a close game.
All right, Mr. Hellens, who you got?
This is a hard game to pick. I hate to pick the Cowboys, but they showed me a little something last week. They, like Herman said, if they continue to feed Zeke, they should run all over the Texans. I was expecting a lot more because I think I picked the Texans to win the AFC South. I expect a lot more from them this year than what they got. And with that stat you just gave about Deshaun Watson getting sacked against Dallas' defense, he's going to be running for his life. Yeah. So that being said, since I cannot in good faith pick the Cowboys, I'm going to pick the Texans.
You know what?
Oh, goodness. Mr. Parker.
This one was a tough one for me, too. After the great performance that Zeke did last week, I can see him having a pretty good game against Houston. But Dallas still hasn't proven anything too much to me yet, as of yet. I think they still have a lot of stuff to struggle with on the defense. So with that said, I'm going to have to ride with Mr. Marcus. I'm taking
Dallas'
Houston.
defense is going to struggle against Houston.
I'm
Is that what
sorry.
you said? You said Dallas' defense is going to struggle?
Yeah,
Awful.
the defense going to struggle against Houston. I think they will. Yeah, I'm taking Houston on this one.
All right, so I mean, it's not going said. I'm going with my boys. And this is somewhat with my heart, and a lot of this is again with those statistics. Again, I'm a little cautious because Houston, like I said, has a number 9th ranked defense. If they can shut down our run game, we haven't really proven that Dak can win the game for us passing the ball. But I do like our odds against Watson, and like Marcus was saying, I think we're going to get some sacks. I think we're going to get some pressure, get some turnovers. As long as the safeties come back and play like they need to, I think we'll be okay on this game.
What's that defensive lineman's name?
DeMarcus where?
Yeah.
I mean DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, he's gonna have a field day.
He's getting some sacks.
He's going to get some sacks.
He had 3.
And David Irvin is coming back.
Yeah, David Irvin's back
this
too.
week. His suspension is over. He should be back on the lineup. So that's just another hot boy is what they call themselves on the line. So we're gonna go with the Cowboys. I'm predicting 23-17. So the next game, I'm not sure how this one got on the list.
It's
But
a Monday night.
it's a Monday night game, so it's the Washington Redskins versus the New Orleans Saints.
That's how I got on the Monday night list.
That is very true. The Saints are giving up 6.5 points in this particular game. The Redskins have the number 3 ranked defense in the NFL, and they're also number 3 against the pass. But the Saints have the number 4 offense, and I can't tell you what number they are. I can't read my handwriting.
It's bad. It's bad. Whatever it is, it's bad.
It is bad. It is bad. On this one, we're going to start with the resident Redskin fan, Marcus.
Well, I gotta tell you, this is a very hard game to pick. By all accounts, the Redskins probably should lose this game. The Saints' offense is powerful. Drew Brees, Thomas, Kamara, whatever you pronounce his name. That's going to be hard to stop. But their defense is terrible. Their defense is just plain bad. I think they have one of the lowest ranked defenses in the league right now. And it depends on what kind of Alex Smith we see out there. Is he going to be check down Charlie, or is he going to throw this ball down the field? I don't know. But in good faith, I cannot pick against the Redskins, so I'm going to pick the Redskins.
When did this good faith come?
No idea.
Mark, who do you got on this one?
This week, I think it's going to be an exciting game. Made a good point about the offenses and Redskins defense, and they're coming out early in the season not being banged up and hurt. I'm taking Skins on this one. I'm going to have the Skins on it. I think they win it.
All right, so we got 2 Skins votes already. Who do you got?
Okay, so mark my words on this one. This is going to be a blowout.
Hey, what?
The Saints are going to destroy the Skins, and I'm not being funny because I'm a Cowboys fan. I believe this.
I'm muting you. You're going on mute.
Whatever. The Skins. The reason they're right, their defense is pretty good, but the reason their defense right now is 3rd, they want a bye week. Okay, and these stats go off yards. All right, I'm gonna just leave it at that. The Saints, and in the dome, The Saints are getting ready to murder the Skins. They're gonna murder the Skins. I got the Saints.
I disagree. It will not be a murder.
Murder.
This one is ugly. This one is ugly. The Saints' offense is good, but
Great.
they let Cleveland hang around. They've let everybody hang around. Every
Right.
game it's been close, and they've had to make miracles happen to win these games.
Mm-hmm.
The Redskins have a good front four. They got a good defense. And they got a good offense. I mean, they're going to have all their weapons, and I hate to say it, but I think the damn Redskins are going to win this game.
You're picking the Skins.
Hail to the Redskins. Hail victory.
I pray I'm wrong on that.
You're wrong.
So now that we're done with that drudgery, we're going to talk about a real game. The Minnesota Vikings are going to travel down to Philadelphia to play them their Eagles. Right now, the Eagles are actually giving up 3.5 in this particular game. A couple offensive stats for Vikings. They are number 5 against the number 5 passing offense, and they are actually last in rush offense. The Eagles are number 1 in rush defense, and they're 19th in pass defense. So this is a classic offense versus defense, which is kind of weird because normally when you think of the Vikings, you think more of their defense, not necessarily their offensive prowess. So we're going to start this one off with Mr. Parker.
Hey, this one, I mean, it's probably going to be my game of the week right here. I think Eagles have Wentz back, and he's starting to get his mojo. I'm taking the Eagles on this one.
All right, Mr. Triplett.
I'm gonna go with the Vikings. Even though they're on the road, right now I don't believe in the Eagles. And again, I'm not because I'm an NFC East Cowboys fan.
You sure they got nothing to do with
No,
it?
I'm serious. The Eagles lost to Tennessee. You know what I'm saying?
But they lost
to
them
the
in
Titans.
overtime.
But that was
in
I mean,
overtime. And they just got back Wentz. I'm gonna use your argument. They just got back Wentz, and they just got back Alshon, and they lost. I'm not impressed. I'm going with the Vikings.
Who you got, Marcus?
I just don't believe in the Vikings. I don't believe in Kirk Cousins in Minnesota. He's going
Right, what's coming? I knew that was coming.
he's going to turn that ball over. He's going to throw an interception. He's going to fumble. Something's going to happen. I don't really believe in the Eagles that much either, but I believe more in them than I do the Vikings. You know, it'll be three L's and a loss in a row for the Vikings. Picking the Eagles.
He's like a scarred girlfriend.
Yeah, he does. Still trying to get back to poor Kirk.
So in this particular match, I agree with Herman on this one. I think the Vikings are going to take this victory. The Eagles, they all their games have been close too. The Eagles haven't blown anybody out. They haven't really showed us. They've been winning a lot of games based on defense, and most of the time that's coming down to the last play of the game. That Vikings offense is for real. Say what you want. They went up and down the field against that Rams defense. And you know, you can talk about Cousins with his fumbles and all that stuff, but Cousins is having a pretty good season with them right now. Like I said, when you're the number 1 pass offense, you're doing something right. Thielens lighting it up. I think the Eagles are they're beat up right now, and I think Ajayi is okay, but I don't think he's 100%. And I just got a feeling that the Vikings aren't going to lose 3 in a row. I think that the head coach is going to get that team back together, and they're going to come in with it. So the final game we're going to talk about this week is a AFC game. This is the Jaguars versus the Chiefs. Because the Chiefs are home, they're giving up 3 points, so they're a 3-point dog. A couple stats on this particular one: the Jags have the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL, and they're number 1 against the pass. The Kansas City Chiefs are 8th in total offense, and they're number 9 against pass offense. We're going to start this one off with Herman.
All right, I'm going with the Jags on this one. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, because of that defense, and then secondly, after seeing Denver put the Chiefs in a close game, I feel like the Jags are going to take this one. It's going to be a hard game for them because they're going to be in Arrowhead, but I think they're going to go in there and they're going to get the win. And like you said, somebody said earlier, this may be for home field advantage throughout the playoffs. This is going to be a good game. This should be on primetime, not the Skins and the Saints.
Hey, man.
Who do you got on this one, Mark?
This one, I think it's going to be a pretty good defensive game. The The Chiefs. You said Chiefs are number one in offense. Jags are number one in defense.
Chiefs are number 8. They're number 8 total offense.
Okay. The Jags have a safety that they call the tight end whisperer. He's been shutting down tight ends in the game. I think Kelsey's going to be shut down. I'm taking Jags on this one.
Marcus?
You know I'm on that Mahomes bandwagon. But I think this is going to be Mahomes' real first test. And I think he'll do great. But I don't think he'll do enough. I think he'll finally throw his first pick of the season. Maybe even more. I'm going for the Jags.
So did anyone pick the Chiefs yet?
No.
All right, well, this is a clean sweep then. I'm also going with the Jaguars. Mahomes has to come down to earth sooner or later, okay? I mean, even the great Brett Favre had some bad games, you know? So, like I said, there was a tough game Monday night. They played late, you know, and they had to, you know, the defense of the Chiefs is what I'm questioning. The only issue with the Jaguars is that their starting running back did hurt his hamstring again, so he's not going to be playing in this game. But Yeldon was a pretty solid backup, and Bortles has been doing his thing. I mean, I try to laugh and make jokes about Bortles, and I couldn't believe that they paid him that money, but he's actually been playing pretty well. So with that, you know, keeping the ball, you know, scoring, and then you know, that Chiefs defense is just putrid. So I'm gonna go with the Jaguars. So, right now, I think we have everything that we're going to cover this week, unless any of you gentlemen anything else to say.
Yeah, I got a question for Marcus. Why you on all these other quarterback bandwagons, but not your own quarterback?
Well, you mean Chuck down? What do you call him? Chuck down, Charlie?
Yeah.
Check down, Charlie.
Check down, Charlie. Get on your own quarterback's bandwagon.
I mean, you know, I'm optimistic, but I'm a pessimist. Optimistic. Yeah, optimistic. I mean, you know, the Skins have a history. And so, you know, until they can win consistently and put up yards consistently, I'm always going to be worried about them.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and pass it on to Marcus. He'll go ahead and give us the outro.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming out tonight. I want to encourage you to like, share, subscribe. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Once you subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications when we go live. We'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. We out. Later.